The crystal flute rang out, sharp and bright, as it met the rim of my water glass. The chime sliced through the low hum of conversation, snapping the dining room into silence. At the head of the mahogany table, my father, Edmund, rose to his feet. He looked perfectly composed, like a man delivering a speech he'd rehearsed for years. He smoothed his tie, let his gaze drift fondly over my brothers, Marcus and Leo, and then let his eyes land on me. They went cold. 3 hours earlier, I'd been in a rental sedan on the highway, a gray car that smelled of cleaner and burnt coffee. I'd parked it at the bottom of the long drive, tucked behind overgrown rhododendrons. Not because I was ashamed, but because I preferred to arrive as quietly as I'd left this place 10 years ago. The estate rose ahead of me then, a hulking Victorian shape against a bruised sky. 2 black SUVs sprawled on the front lawn, their tires chewing the frost-bitten grass. Marcus and Leo's, of course. Everything about my brothers was leased: the cars, the watches, the swagger. Halfway up the steps, my phone buzzed. Not a text, but a notification from legal. Patent approval granted. Bioprinted myocardial tissue matrix. The valuation attached to that one line could have bought this house outright and left change. I didn't smile. I dismissed the notification, slipped the phone into my pocket, and climbed the rest of the steps. Inside, the hallway smelled like it always had: polish, dust, and disapproval. My mother, Helena, waited by the staircase, hands clasped, smile fixed. "Nora," she said, kissing my cheek like it might leave a mark, "you made it." Then came the inventory, the quick up-and-down sweep, cataloging my plain sweater, sensible boots, the absence of diamonds. "You look comfortable," she said, making the words sound like an apology. From the living room, Edmund's voice boomed. "Is that the scientist?" he called. "Did you bring your microscope, Nora?" Laughter followed, low and practiced. I excused myself, found the guest bathroom, and locked the door. The mirror showed a 32-year-old CEO. Somewhere beneath her, a 12-year-old girl still wanted a place at this table. I ran cold water over my wrists until my fingers stopped shaking. Now, back at the dining table, the crystal still humming faintly in the air, Edmund cleared his throat to speak, and I lifted my glass, bracing for impact. Edmund lifted his glass like a gavel. "The estate," he announced. "All properties, investments, and company holdings will transfer to Marcus and Leo." He let the words seep into the carpet and the crown molding, savoring the silence. Then he leaned forward, both hands on the table, attention fixed on me. "Real assets belong to the sons who know what to do with them. Nora, your lab work is a pastime. You're not part of this." He waited for the show, the tears, the pleading, the proof that I was still the fragile girl he'd decided I was. Instead, I just lifted my wine, tasting it slowly. It was excellent. It tasted like an exit. Dinner resumed in stilted fragments. Marcus held court about a Tribeca deal, dropping numbers like confetti. 6-figure commission, easy, he said, swirling his wine. "That's business," Edmund said proudly. "Bricks and mortar, solid. Not like—" He flicked his fingers in my direction. "Whatever gene thing you're dabbling in." "Synthetic biology," I replied, cutting my steak. "Cardiac tissue engineering." "A science project," he scoffed. "Gambling with petri dishes. If you're ready for real work, I can still squeeze you into administration. Paperwork suits you." Leo snorted. "Perfect. She can plan the company holiday party." I didn't rise to it. Their need to shrink me said more about their insecurity than my value. Silence thickened over the table, sticky and sour. Edmund inhaled, readying another jab. He never got to land it. Across from me, Marcus's son, Eli, made a sharp choking sound. His fork hit the plate with a clatter. His phone, half hidden under the table, glowed against the linen. "Eli," Marcus snapped, "put that thing away." "Grandpa, wait." Eli's voice trembled. He shoved the phone across the table toward Edmund. "You need to see this." Edmund squinted at the screen. "What am I looking at?" "The live Forbes list," Eli whispered. "It just updated." "So?" Edmund muttered. "Scroll," Eli said. "Number 42. Edmund's thumb moved. His face went oddly blank. "Nora Hale," Eli read aloud. Net worth, 5.4 billion dollars. The room didn't merely quiet, it hollowed out. Helena's hand flew to her mouth. Marcus froze, wine glass hovering. Leo stared at me like I'd stepped out of a disguise. Edmund's jaw worked soundlessly, his certainty meeting something bigger than it could swallow. Edmund stared at the phone, stunned, then flushed dark. "This is wrong," he said, shoving it away. "Some glitch, some scam. Nora, what did you do?" "It's actually 5.8, I said. "Market closed high, synthetic. Organs are lucrative." I set my knife and fork together. "The company went public 3 years ago. I kept 51%. We lead North America in bioprinted cardiac tissue. The list is based on audited numbers." Marcus's voice had gone thin. $5 billion, he said. "Nora, that's huge. We should talk. There are deals we could build." I raised my hand. He stopped. "I didn't come to bankroll you," I said. "I came to close the ledger." I pulled a blue folder onto the table and slid it toward Edmund. "My team runs due diligence on everyone I deal with, even you." He stared at it. "I know," I said, his voice cracked. "Know what?" "That there is no inheritance." I held his gaze. "The estate is over-leveraged. Second mortgage, third high-interest loan. The commercial holdings are in default. Foreclosure on this house starts in 30 days. Leo turned to him. "Is that true?" he demanded. Edmund sagged, the performance gone. Helena began to sob. "Nora, please," she said. "You can fix this. We'll lose everything. We're family." I stood. "I'm not buying your mistakes," I said. "This isn't about what I can afford. It's about what I choose to own. You two," I nodded at Marcus and Leo, "are a bad investment." Then I faced Eli. "I'm setting up a trust for you," I said softly. "Education, whatever you choose. It's in your name. Your father can't touch it. Call my office Monday. They'll handle the details." "Thank you," he whispered. I left my card by his plate, then looked back at Edmund. "You wanted to leave a legacy to your sons," I said. "Now you have. The debt is theirs." No one moved as I walked out. Cold air met me at the door. Gravel crunched under my boots as I headed to the rental. At the bottom of the drive, I looked back and saw Edmund in an upstairs window, a pale shape behind the glass. People say money changes you. It didn't change me. I'm still the woman who prefers a lab bench to a ballroom. Money became a mirror and showed them who they were. I started the engine. For the first time in years, I felt free.